The Odyssey is over 12,000 lines long, and for centuries there was not a single written copy of it anywhere on Earth. It lived in only one place: inside a human head. A person would stand up in the firelight and deliver the entire epic, every storm, every monster, every god and grief and name, out loud, start to finish, from nothing but their own mind. Let the size of that settle for a bit. 12,000 lines. Most of us can barely hold on to a phone number, or the one poem we were made to learn at school. And yet for roughly 500 years before writing ever reached Greece, this is how the Odyssey survived it all. Mouth to ear, mind to mind. One forgetful generation and it would have vanished from the world forever, the way countless other stories whose names we will never even know surely did. Which leaves a question that sounds almost impossible. How? How does a human being hold an entire epic inside their head, not just one but many, and perform it night after night without a single written word to lean on? For a very long time, scholars simply assumed one of two things. Either the ancient bards had memories so vast they bordered on the superhuman, or the poems were somehow written from the very start, and the whole idea of a purely spoken Homer was just a romantic myth. Then, in the 1930s, a young American scholar named Milman Parry decided to stop guessing and go and look. Because, as it happened, these singers were not all safely dead in the ancient past. In the mountains of what was then Yugoslavia, there were still living bards who could sit down and perform heroic epics thousands of lines long while being unable to read a single word. Parry brought recording equipment into the hills. He captured them, and in what they were doing, he found the secret hiding inside Homer. And the secret is not what anyone expected. They were not memorizing, not word for word. What they were doing was, in its own way, far cleverer than memory. Listen to the Odyssey and you notice something almost at once. The same phrases keep returning. The dawn is always rosy-fingered. The sea is always wine-dark. Odysseus is much enduring. Athena is gray-eyed. These are not lazy repetitions, they are tools. Each of those phrases is cut to fit exactly the rhythm of the line, the strict 6-beat meter the whole poem is built on, like a key ground to match a lock. So the singer was never reciting a fixed, frozen text. He was composing it, live, in the moment, snapping these ready-made, rhythm-shaped pieces together to carry the story forward, the way a musician improvises around a tune he knows in his bones. What he held in his mind was not a wall of words to be parroted back. It was a system, a story shape, a set of pieces and a rhythm that told him where each piece was allowed to go. The meter itself was the memory machine. And that reframes everything. The Odyssey we treat as one fixed, finished masterpiece was, for centuries, never fixed at all. It was a living performance, slightly different every single night, never held as exact words, but as something deeper and more supple than words, a story that lived the way a song lives inside a musician, not the way a file sits on a disc, which is, if anything, more astonishing than superhuman memory. These people had turned their own minds into an instrument, one capable of holding and recreating an entire world on demand. And here is where it stops being about the ancient Greeks and starts being about you. This was once a human superpower, and it was everywhere. Before writing, the mind was the only library that existed. Whole peoples carried their history, their laws, their gods, and their maps of the stars, with nothing to store any of it in but themselves. In India, the sacred hymns of the Rig Veda were passed from mouth to mouth, word for perfect word, for something close to 3,000 years, an unbroken chain of living memory older than most of the world's nations. And then we invented writing. It was a gift beyond measure, but it arrived with a cost, and someone noticed at the very beginning. Socrates warned that writing would plant forgetfulness in our souls, that we would come to trust the marks on the outside and stop tending the memory within, that we would seem to know a great deal and truly hold very little. He was right. Look at what you carry now. Your memory lives in a slab of glass in your pocket. You may not hold a single poem in your head all the way through. The names, the numbers, the directions home. We have handed all of it to the machine and let the muscle go slack. We didn't lose the ability, we just stopped using it. That is what makes the Odyssey more than a story. It is a message from a version of the human mind we have very nearly forgotten we own. A mind that could hold a whole world inside itself and set it alight in the dark for anyone willing to listen. The wonder was never only that they could do it, it is that in some sleeping corner, so could you. The mind is that vast, we have simply forgotten to fill it. That is what this channel is for. If this made you want to hold just one thing in memory again, one poem, one story, entirely your own, subscribe to Numen and we will keep finding the awe hidden in everything.